Tuesday, January 24th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. I'm meteorologist Matthew East here with you. A foggy start to the day across most of our region. Still have that wedge in place that will scour out with time today. We've been in the wedge for a few days. It's given us a lot of cloudy, dreary conditions, but it also prevented us from having any severe weather issues here in the Carolinas that a lot of folks across the South had to deal with earlier this week. Just a tragic situation. There's a look at the compilation of the storm reports. This was mainly occurring Sunday evening and Sunday night into the very early morning hours yesterday, and all those red dots represent where there were tornado reports during that time frame, a lot of wind reports too. And again, just a tragic, awful situation there with those tornadoes that occurred earlier in the week. Now, in terms of this morning, there's some shower activity still hanging on to eastern North Carolina down into southern Georgia and the Florida Panhandle, right ahead of an advancing cold front. And again, with that wedge still hanging on too, a lot of fog. And you have many areas in the Piedmont, the foothills, some mountain locations in North Carolina, down into the upstate of South Carolina, much of Georgia, southeastern Alabama with some visibilities less than a half a mile and even less than a quarter mile in a number of spots. Those are dense fog advisories out for those gray, shady counties. Now here's the upper air chart today. Here comes the next system diving through the desert southwest into Texas today. This is the European model. Watch what happens with this. We go out in time, and here we are Friday morning. That's when the system itself actually swings through our region. Behind it over the weekend, another little trough dives in. And then as we get out into the longer range, here's the European as we go into Monday and Tuesday of next week. Notice kind of a few disturbances across the northern tier states, and the European really amplifies one of those midweek and brings in another decent shot of a chillier air deeper into the medium range. And I'll talk about a little bit of a longer range idea coming up in just a couple of moments. Today, I think sunshine will make its return across the region. We're going to be looking at a lot of afternoon sunshine building in. High temperatures in the areas that have been socked in with the wedge over the past few days will be much, much milder. I think a lot of Piedmont and even foothill highs today, at least trying to make it up into the lower 60s. Tomorrow, clouds will be on the increase as we get through the afternoon as the next system begins to take shape over eastern Texas and southeastern Oklahoma. Could be some severe weather with that one close to the Gulf Coast of Texas and Louisiana tomorrow, and then spreading into southern, at least, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Alabama thereafter as the system ejects off to the east. Now, for our region, again, clouds increasing later tomorrow. I think basically a cloudy sky Thursday, and by the afternoon we'll begin to see the rain spreading in. It looks like at the moment the period of heaviest rain around here with that system will be Thursday night into Friday morning. Might even be some rumbles of thunder with that one too. All right, for the weekend, Saturday, it looks not certainly cold by any stretch of the imagination, but probably low at and maybe mid-50s for highs, and should be a good deal of sunshine. Sunday, again, some of the modeling, including this cycle, the GFS, wants to amplify that little disturbance swinging through, so that could bring a pretty decent little quick shot of some upslope snow showers to the mountains, maybe some clouds briefly moving through parts of the foothills and the Piedmont, but I don't think any precip with that one will likely make it out of the mountains. And so I'll just go with a partly cloudy type of sky Sunday, highs in the upper 40s and lower 50s. Again, much chillier in the mountains with that. And then as we get into Monday, high pressure right overhead. So we probably start off the day Monday with lows well down into the 20s and highs Monday in the 40s. Now, out in the longer range, that's when you look for these mystical fantasy systems that the GFS can sometimes print out. This is out at 276 hours, and that is a rain-producing system verbatim east of the mountains. But showing you there'll be some cold air around and some the storm track staying relatively active. Now, this is off the ensembles, the NAO ensemble forecast, really right at neutral through the end of the month and into early February. The PNA neutral to at times slightly positive. I just don't see any great indication that we're going to see the NAO head negative for any extended period of time, but I do see some signs, at least from time to time, we're going to see at least some mild PNA ridging. So I think overall, as we get into February, it doesn't look like at the moment a blockbuster pattern at all for the southeast if you love winter weather. But I do think it's a pattern that at least gives us a fighting chance for some winter weather. Probably overall some seasonable type temperatures, mild ridging to the west coast, overall troughing at times in the eastern parts of the country. but it's going to look, these cold shots still look to be rather transient without any blocking, at least in the Atlantic. So we're going to have to see what we can do. But I think overall, again, if you're looking for winter weather chances, it doesn't look like just a done deal, a blockbuster type of pattern, but at least a pattern that gives us a fighting chance as we go through the month of February. We'll see. All right, that is it for today. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, and God bless.